Hey everybody, how's it going? It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
We are back for a big penultimate weekend, I guess, or ultimate weekend. But it was the ultimate, but it wasn't exactly an ultimate weekend.
No, it was far from ultimate.
Yeah. But there was some excitement at least, but not to the level that we were desiring by any means.
Well, as we were just talking about before we got on, like this was a weekend full of players starting to pack their bags while they were still on the field.
Yeah, probably true.
Like they realized about 50, 60 minutes into the game that this was not going their way. And
when they're 20 points
sometimes
down.
It was 20 minutes into the game where they're like, this is not going to go our way, is it? No? All right. Well, let's be done with it.
Yeah, that's the end of me.
Have fun, guys. No. We're not subbing you out. I know. I'm just going to be a spectator
here. Yeah, shit. All right, let's open these things up so we can get to talking.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just a reminder, everybody, make sure you check us out on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes. Review us, rate us, download us, please. Subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Because we need the downloads, mostly. Never mind if you listen. We're okay if you don't listen.
Or even listen only halfway.
Yeah, that too. All right. So some news and notes before we get into this. I may have missed some of it out there, but there's definitely some stuff we need to talk about. France announced their World Cup squad, and there were a couple names not on the list, that of which big one being, literally, Mathieu Bastareaud being left off the squad, and about, 6, 7, 8 hours later, he says, I'm done playing international rugby. I was just like, oh, wow, that was a quick domino.
I wonder if those were related. I wonder if he'd already said it and just hadn't publicized it. Or
maybe,
or there could be a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I totally understand France not wanting him. He's in many ways the essence of French rugby, like insanely talented.
Yes. Very talented.
Just his size and the way he can move should make him a terror out there. And yet you never know which Bastareaud is going to show up.
Yeah. The one that's going to be a thug or the one that's going to be, a monster.
Right. Or the one that's just going to have his head up his ass, like just disinterested completely.
That's usually not
there's so many different Bastareauds out there that you need some consistency there. And I think it kind of fucks with, because the thing is, when you have somebody who's that talented, people kind of defer to people like that. To players like that, like he can do so much more than me. So if he's going to play hard, then I'll folloll him. But if he's disinterested, you're like, oh, we don't have him now. I have to step up. I don't really know.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, it fucks with the team cohesion. So, if France is going to change their team culture and really just try to compete, like compete for a World Cup, they might be better off without him.
Right. We'll see.
We'll see.
Goods and bads that are falling off with him.
Yeah.
I'll jump ahead a little bit. Morgan Parra out. Not surprising. He didn't have a great Six Nations.
Right.
He's the years are catching up to him, and that's just how it is. No Teddy Tama. That is a very big surprise for me. He is electric when he gets the ball in hand, and it's very helpful to have a finisher when you're at the World Cup, especially when it comes to the big pool games and the knockout rounds. Right. So I was very shocked to see he got left off that list. I was like, you're missing somebody. You're missing somebody. Excuse me.
Forgot a name.
So I don't know what the reason is, but I would not be.
Maybe that'll come out soon.
Yeah,
because that's a bigger surprise than Bastareaud.
Yeah, I'd be very, very curious as to what his reasoning is behind it. And yes, they have some decent wingers, but correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they have an issue with starting the right wingers at certain points in the Six Nations and getting torched with midfielders on the wing?
Maybe. It sounds familiar. Sounds about right.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Especially by England. So, yeah. you might want him. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Especially if you're struggling with that whole thing. But then again, this guy might just be an absolute cowboy, which I think he kind of is. So that's just my opinion. And there was a big one for our boys.
This one is kind of hard to take.
Yeah, that was a shock for me, and I understood it because I knew why he made the move he did mid-season to go from Cardiff to Seattle Seawolves. Mm-hmm. And Samuel Manoa is hanging up the international boots. I got to stand in front of this man. And my God, is he huge?
Yeah,
he was at King's home, and I was just like, I was like, "What's up, dude?" And I went to shake his hand, and he actually only gave me a fist bump because he broke his hand.
Yeah,
I was just like, "Uh-oh, well, Toulon's gonna be mad about that."
Yeah,
but yeah, he was just like, and there were a bunch of Northampton fans that were near me. And he saw the logo and was like, "Oh well, he just moved from Northampton to Toulon," mm-hmm. and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go say hi to these guys because
they're my people.
These are my people. These guys gave me a shot. These guys got me on the scene." So he was respectful in that, and just seemed to be having a very pleasant conversation as if he'd known them their whole life, which was pretty cool. But I do understand that he made the move for family reasons from Cardiff back to the west coast of the U.S., which. Obviously it's something that's weighing heavily on him, so that's why he's decided I'm good. I'd love to play in the World Cup, but I think that I'm still needed here. So
yeah, maybe by the next one he'll have reconsidered.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's still young.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that was a big one. The block monster, as he is on Twitter, that is, and I saw somebody say something about. A man you don't want to be hit by. I was like, no.
I mean, he and Laws together were just.
Oh yeah,
that was a terror.
Yeah, that's a nightmare second row right there.
Yeah, and you're saying how big he is. Like he and old Courtney.
Yeah, I know Courtney before he slimmed down.
Right, they were. They were right. Fighting each other for pound there. They were.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were about the same size.
Yeah, big boys. So I tip of the cap to Samu.
No small loss for the Eagles.
In many ways. Tip of the cap to Big Samu. You're a very good person from what I understand, and you're a very good servant to the United States Rugby. You're a good Eagle, and we'll miss you, buddy.
I still think he's coming back.
He may yet.
It's not this round.
He may yet. Somebody else came back.
Yes. They sent out the
pound through those doors, Joe Marler. Just rolling through them.
Sent out the bat signal. Like, yeah, we need props.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't fuck with you so much. We need you.
Yeah. So obviously, McAvoy status for the start of the World Cup is at least up in the air, mm-hmm. and I'm sure England would like to know that if he has a setback, they do have a first choice or a high end first choice. Loose head prop at their disposal, and mm-hmm. Joe Marler is answering the bell. I would suspect this will be his last go around, but he's decided, all right, give it one more try, mm-hmm. and you guys can consider me done. Cool. So good for Joe Marler. I do think the game is a little bit better with Joe back in the game.
Right. I mean, we can't have a World Cup without, at least not at this stage of the game, without a Joe Marler or a Haskell to keep it colorful. Like, we need some people.
Let's make it entertaining.
We need some color in there. And
you're boring me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Joe Marler back in the fold for England, and, much to many people's delight, and as long as he can keep his nerve, I'm sure he's going to be very productive for them when he takes the field. So a quick move that I saw. I don't know if there was anything else that you missed, that you saw that I missed. Tyrell Lomax from the Highlanders is switching sides. He's going to the Hurricanes.
Oh,
yeah, big. And watching the Hurricanes this year, I can tell you they are in desperate need of decent props, mm-hmm. and he's definitely gonna fit the bill. So I will look forward to seeing him. They had their day where they had some decent props, and it's going by the wayside slowly but surely here. So. Guy that played this weekend, Pitto. He was supposed to be a really good one, but he keeps getting hurt. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Tyrell Lomax put on the yellow jumper next season as opposed to the blue one. That'd be nice.
So one thing I did see on the England side of the pond is somewhat of a surprise only because of the direction it's going in a way. Mm-hmm. But Luke Wallace.
Yeah, going to the championship.
Yeah, going to the championship rugby to sign with
yeah,
Coventry.
I did see that. Yeah, wow.
Right?
Wow. I don't know. He's got his reasons, but I want to know what those reasons are, honestly.
Right. So, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But maybe that'll be good for him. Maybe it's one of these take a step backwards, be a little bit of a leader.
Yeah.
And take on some responsibility, and maybe that'll help him grow as a player.
Perhaps
make his way back to the Premiership.
Perhaps. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility.
I like to look at the positives sometimes.
Yeah.
Every so often.
Every so often. So there was a final that maybe not everybody knew about. Major League Rugby had its final, the professional competition here in the U.S., and it was a dandy. It had a good 15-minute lull in it, probably. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it was an absolute firecracker. This thing had everything you could ask for. Legion, Seattle Seawolves are the defending champions. San Diego Legion finished the competition at the top spot. But as the Saracens have done to the Exeter Chiefs so many times, number 2 pipped number 1 at the end.
Yeah.
But this was a thing right down to the wire.
Right. And it came down in my opinion, to a fascinating decision. 3 minutes left. So Seattle is they're back-to-back champs for a reason. They are extremely talented. They're very well organized, very well coached, and they controlled the game for a lot of it. Very much so. Yes. And San Diego worked their way back into it, and were really hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, they were showing some fight. That's for sure.
And they were showing fight. Yeah, and they were showing a little bit of control of the ball. Mm-hmm. And their 10 decides with 3 minutes left to kick a drop goal.
Peterson. Yeah.
Right. They were up 1. Drop goal to take it to 4 points. Which
make it a try game.
Right. And I have a big problem with that around the timing of it, most of all, because you have 3 minutes left. You could have easily at that point wasted a minute or two on a on a couple extra phases, hit some forward crashes, really position yourself a little bit better.
But that wasn't a simple drop goal.
It was not. He was off to the side. It was not a very easy.
I was like, we're doing this.
Okay. And the problem then isn't just that, but now you're getting the ball back and you're deep in your own end, and you're likely, as it happened, Seattle kicked it deep, and rather than play phases at that point with less than 2 minutes left, San Diego right away kicks the ball to touch. They clear it. And it's like, now you've given the ball to the other team, knowing it's their last chance. Like that. Now this is kind of you're kind of giving them what they need. Maybe not what they want, but this is what they need to win.
Yes.
And they took advantage of it.
Well, and there was that high tackle on the far end that really put the Seawolves deep into their territory too. That did not help.
But the issue I have going back to the kick though, is that it's completely selfish, because no matter what, win or lose, somebody's going to be like, hey, remember when Peterson kicked that drop goal? We thought we had it. Like, he did it. Like, he did something awesome. And it's like, he cost you the fucking game.
Yeah,
is what he did.
He definitely
did. But it's like kind of.
I don't say definitely, but that decision probably needed to come at a better time than when he made it.
And it wasn't. It was completely selfish because there's no downside to it. He's like, I thought I was going to win us the game. Okay, well then, but no, read the room, dude.
Yeah,
they're better than you. Just hold on to the ball and you win.
Yeah, that's true. They were. I think when San Diego was on defense, they did have a real tough time stopping Seattle cold.
Yeah.
And they needed to stop Seattle cold real bad when that drop goal went over. It's like you either need to hang on to this ball or you need to play defense, and they hadn't been very good at stopping Seattle very well.
And I'm not just going to point out at Joe Peterson here. I'm also going to look at the Legion's front row.
Yeah.
Because and not that they didn't do a good job all game. They did fine. There was a scrum late, even before, I think it was before the drop goal.
It was, yeah.
And I text Jared. It might have been like the sequence leading up to the drop goal because it was like about 5 minutes left. And I was like, okay, you got to waste at least one scrum here. You got to waste a minute on it.
And they didn't.
They just played it right there. And it's like, no, dude, front row, somebody bind wrong. Somebody do something that it's like, oh, the scrum fell. Oh, okay, we got to reset it. Like, do something.
Yeah, as long as it's not something that the referee sees as egregious.
Right. Do something that kills the game for a minute. And, we got to reset. Oh, we got to go talk a second. Oh, now it's 90 seconds. And next thing you know, now it's a scrum. And now that kick happens at like a minute and a half instead of 3 minutes.
The not the last one, but I think it was the second to last try that Seattle scored. I was a little shocked, and I think this is down to our video work, and I think this is something that we need to expand as a league and as a country. Didn't get a check from some scrappy dappy dude going on in the middle of the field.
Right.
Looked like Seattle player had dumped one of the Legion guys on his head. I was like, I would go back and see what started this, because if it was a Legion guy, then whatever, play on.
Right.
If it was a Seattle guy that was being the dickhead, then you probably need to go back and award a penalty to the Legion so that this try is disallowed. So that's down to camera work, honestly. And we don't have the cameras.
TMO. The TMO should have seen it.
Yeah, TMO should have at least said, hey, we might have an incident. If we have an angle, we need to look at it. That's down to that.
But either way, also the Legion, the guy who was at the post, just walked away. He walked away from the post to go and point out the fight. Yeah. And it's like, no, dude, the referee says play on.
Stay there. Don't move.
Right, and the Seawolves just picked and went right through where he was supposed to be. So it's like, okay, that was great. Good work.
Yeah. So some non-rugby related, at least non-game related notes. I thought the presentation of the trophy was absolutely super JV.
Right. He was like, here you go.
Super JV. Like,
the guy just walked out and handed
Time out. You let these guys celebrate. You get it doesn't even need to be a stage. You get a sign that says MLR 2019 champions.
Right.
Say, wait a second, what year are we in? Get a banner or a sign that says 2019 champions. You get everybody, behind it. If you have a winner, if you want to do medals, whatever. And then you hand it to the captain who's in that, who's in the group. They raise it, let the fireworks go. There you go. You don't just walk out while they're in mid-celebration.
Just hand it over.
2 seconds after the final whistle's gone. No.
And it was some schmo in a fleece. It wasn't even anybody. There was no official.
It wasn't. I guarantee you that was not the commissioner of the MLR.
Oh no! It was just somebody who you're like, okay, you go do this now.
No.
And it's a shield. It's this big. First off, they said the previous one was 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good fucking work there. This one was this one's only 20.
Thank God.
But it's literally a shield. How do you drink out of it?
We need a cup in this bitch. Right. I don't know about you. Although to be fair, the Pro 14's thing is like a plaque or something like that. Actually, there was a video of Intimac surfing on it or something like that.
Oh yeah, right.
I was like, is that? Oh my God, that's the trophy. Oh my God. And everybody in France is losing their mind right now.
See, that's the problem. Is that again? It's the connection between USA Rugby and French Rugby that we need to.
Can we sever that, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of French and USA Rugby and French Rugby. And all their mannerisms. Respect the kicker.
Yeah.
Respect the kicker.
That was terrible.
Respect the kicker. We are not France, okay? The kicker is going. This is not NFL. This is not soccer. We are not hooligans. This is a game of respect.
Right.
If somebody's taking a kick, I don't care if they're wearing your jersey or the wrong color jersey. You shut your face.
Right.
End of story.
Let them kick.
End of story.
It's hard enough as it is. Let them do it.
Let them do it. Considering that some of these kicks are being taken from the touchline.
Right.
You ain't going to do it. I don't know. Whoever all these hooting and hollering are doing, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay? And there are certain people out there that think, oh, it's okay to do it. You're a bunch of asshats. Shut up. Okay?
Helmets. They're the kind of people. They're the kind of people that we still need to work our way out of rugby in the U.S.
Let's tip them on top of their head, please, and be done with it. Good Lord. So overall, entertaining game. Still a organization that's very young,
right?
Working out the bugs. So we found the bugs,
yeah,
and now let's fix them. Okay, there's definitely bugs. Let's fix them. But yeah, so it was an entertaining game. So that's all you can ask for when you get into that type of situation. So good on both teams. It was thanks for putting on at least a very, very good match, to say the least. Continuing the French rugby theme. I got into this week. I don't know if you saw.
No.
So top 14 teams threatening to not pay players if they specifically Pacific Nation players if they go play for their countries at the World Cup. And I was just like, that is so bullshit. That is so wrong. That makes you an awful, awful person. I'm sorry. Like, you're blackmailing these guys because they know damn well that these guys need the money because they're sending it back home.
Right.
But to blackmail these guys into not playing for their country.
Well, it's not blackmail. It's awful. Extortion.
Say whatever. Listen, I am not an expert in freaking criminal law, okay? Whatever the fuck it is, point being, these guys are just like Bougelau. We know right. Bougelau's a freaking piece of crap. That's not a new thing, but still, like, this is a new level for him, just the same.
It's pretty gross.
You know, and so I got into it, and some schmuck who pretends to represent all Tier 2 nations on Twitter said that it's not the top 14's fault. I was like, no, listen, it's not just the top 14's fault. It is World Rugby, and God knows I'll take a bite out of Brett Gosper when I can. It's not just the two of them either. And he's like, oh, the finger's pointed the wrong way. I'm like, I think the finger needs to be pointed at all three. Right. Okay? If you want to point the finger at all three, yes. I don't think it goes at any one of them. I think it goes at all three. And I don't think this guy understood it. And I'm not sure if he got it. You know, it's just so disgusting for these owners to be like, no, I know we're paying you a boatload of cash that your family needs, but you can't go play for your country. It's like, no, you're going to do that because you knew that there was a chance that was happening right. when you sign these guys, okay? And somebody's just and the guy said, oh, like, I can't imagine this didn't come up in contracts or they didn't know about it or da-da-da. I'm like, no, listen. There's no way that this is getting plucked out of thin air. Right. You know, and that's basically what he thought it was. Like, it was, you know, it wasn't an actual thing. I'm like, listen, this has been brought up twice now, and there's former players for both French and these countries, for top 14 and these countries that are coming out and saying, oh, here we go again. Yeah. So it's not a new thing, and it's not coming out of thin air. So pull your head out of your ass and pay the fuck attention to what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Well, what it means is that those players are going to go play for less somewhere else.
Yeah. They'll happily take $100,000 a week, $100,000 less a year, and go play in top 14 or the Premiership. Right. I promise you. So there you go. Good luck.
Yeah, that's what's going to end up happening. So I mean,
or even Super Rugby, right? Who have who are believe me, they're taking any talent that walks in there right now.
Right. Yeah, half these guys could just walk onto a club. I mean, they won't. Again, the pay won't be as much, but it's like, okay, if you're going to treat me better.
Yeah, some of these guys are willing to take the $100,000 pound, whatever.
Well, how much?
Euro pay
right.
cut.
How much are they going to lose for missing like a month of the season?
They're supposed to be paid.
Right, but I mean, like, if you're going to play, if there's €100,000 difference for a year, versus how much they're making now, if they miss a month out of their whatever salary they're getting, and it's all in season pay, so they're missing what, like a fifth of their salary, something like that. That's the same amount. Yeah. So it's like, why wouldn't I just go play?
If they feel less threatened,
right? Why wouldn't I just go play somewhere else?
Yeah, I'd be like, listen, these people are nicer to me. Right. Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm done. Yeah, and it's less stress too. Like, it's just something simple as that will make people change jobs if it's only a fraction less. Mm-hmm. If it's a small fraction less, that'll make people jump ship real fast. Trust me. So yeah. Shame on you, top 14. Yes, World Rugby and Brett Gosper, you got your own shit that you need to get straight too. That's not news. Top 14 is definitely a big culprit in this. Do not think that they're innocent whatsoever at all. The last bit of news, we watched it this morning. Champions Cup draw. Oh no.
There's a quote that comes to mind. I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me. Because I was thinking about it as the day went on. And I'm like, man. These opponents suck. But you know what they're saying?
Well, we got the champions. Yeah.
We had to deal with fucking Saracens.
We got the double champs.
Right.
So
you think Munster and Racing are like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, Racing is so it started unfolding, and the Munster pool came up, and I was like, oh shit, because I think it was 2 French teams, 2 English teams, and them. I don't remember the exact.
2 Irish teams. It was Lyon, Glasgow, Ulster, Munster, and Gloucester.
Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, once the 2 French teams got put into the whatever it was. Yeah. Whatever it was, the way it started unfolding, I'm thinking, shit, we're getting Munster, and then something happened, whatever, and then the next pool happened. La Rochelle got drawn into whatever pool they got drawn into. I was like, we're getting Racing. There's no other option.
It had to be, yeah.
Well, there's no other option. I was like,
fuck. Yeah, Connacht couldn't be there.
Nope.
I guess Northampton and Harlequins couldn't either.
Nope. Only
tier 4.
Only
2 teams.
Only tier 4 can you start having double up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just became the pool of death. Somebody said no easy pool there. I'm like, I don't
know about that.
I think there's some easy pools out there. Let's be real about this.
Right. Like, I'm pretty sure Leinster is going to win their pool.
Yeah, me too.
And that's not that it's easy. I mean,
no.
They're going to walk all over the Saints, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
Benetton? No.
You know, and I saw I remembered that Benetton got into the Champions Cup this year, and I finally felt good about seeing an Italian team in there because they finally got in there on merit, not on you're the best Italian team. Yeah. That's not a great thing to be. So I'm glad to see. I was glad to see them in there.
Right.
That did. I think that does everything good.
Right.
Yeah, personally.
Pool 2 though. Exeter and Glasgow. I mean, that's basically between those 2.
Yes.
There's no way La Rochelle or Sale are going to touch either of them.
No, probably not. La Rochelle, they were the French runners up. They lost this. They weren't. No, they got into the barrage though, at the very least. So that's why they're in there. But they have good seasons, and then they usually follow up with shite seasons. So that's how they work. Sale. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. The sale box.
Right.
Box. I'm not sure that these guys are going to understand how Champions Cup rugby exactly works.
No, not for a little bit.
Claremont, Ulster, Quins, Bath. That's probably down to Claremont and Ulster. That's probably down to Claremont.
But that's Ulster. Shit. If you took either Munster or Racing and put them in there, you'd be like, they're going to win that one.
Right.
Like,
it's good. Well, Claremont just won the Challenge Cup. So they just won something.
Claremont will be okay. I'm just not. They're to me by far the weakest of the tier 1 teams.
Yeah, that might be true. Because then they were drawing the tier 2 teams. Which one was going to be tier 1 for the last one? I'm thinking Exeter, yeah. Please Exeter, and yes, thank God they got put into tier 1 because if there's a team that I didn't want in there that's English, it's them.
Right.
I could have dealt with basically anybody else but them. I was like, no, thank God. Okay. Toulouse, Gloucester. That's Toulouse's pool, probably to lose.
Yeah. Right. I mean, unless Gloucester.
Turn into some if maybe they continue on their upward trend and they turn into a hell of a team. Well, they are a hell of a team, but to take down the mighty Toulouse will be a different story.
It will, but that's going to be a big. That's going to be their one test. I mean, they shouldn't struggle with. I mean, they should. You never know about Montpellier though.
No,
Connacht they should deal with. Toulouse, I feel like that depends honestly on Toulouse. If it's one of these games where they decide not to show up,
which they have had a couple of those in their day,
then Gloucester has every chance at winning that pool.
Yes, if that's the case, yeah. If they if Toulouse go to King's home, I don't think they're gonna understand what they're about to run into. Because they almost lost their one at Bath to start the year. If not for our friends, oops. So yeah. I'm looking at ours. What I'm thinking is the likeliest thing to happen is we win both games at home against Munster and Racing. Mm-hmm. We lose at least one, if not both, going to Munster and going to Racing.
Right.
And we double up on the sprays.
Yeah.
That's what and hopefully that'll be at least enough for
to get into the.
I honestly don't care as long as we're not the bottom team like we were a few years ago.
Right.
We ended up playing Leinster at the Aviva, which was pretty difficult to say the least. We were also pretty run down at that point too.
Yeah.
We were in trouble. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Champions Cup rugby, here we go, and it's going to be a little truncated too because of some stupid tournament, some stupid tournament in October and September.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the other games that were played this weekend in Super Rugby. Good and bad. Definitely a lot of bad.
A lot of bad.
But there was some good.
Significant amounts of bad.
But it really, for me, it was. And I remember looking at this at some of the conferences a few years ago. 4 to 5 of the best teams in the league have to beat up on each other.
Right.
And sorry, Safas and Aussies. I'm talking about the Kiwi Conference. If you listen, you have the 3-time defending champions or 2-time defending champions, whatever they are, in there. Shut up, okay? And then you have the last 4 champions for Super Rugby are from New Zealand.
Yeah.
2 Crusaders, the Hurricanes, and the Highlanders.
Yep.
Yeah, bite me, okay? Tell me which conference is better now. Anyway, so I always felt it was a little weird that, some of the South African teams didn't have to bump into as many New Zealand teams sometimes, especially when they had more teams in this league. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. Like, you get to beat up on the Australians and, the 2 new teams. This is before the Jaguars had turned their shit around. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. So this is a little bit of karma and justification. Yes, I know the Highlanders don't have as many wins as the Lions. I don't care. They had to draw a game by default because they decided to not play it.
Yeah.
So deal with it. All right. You had ample opportunity to take that away from them, and you didn't.
And it was it was 1 point.
Right.
Like, get your point.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, let's kick it off. Speaking of the Highlanders, playing way down south in New Zealand where it gets really, really cold, and they were red hot. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Mac Mason in there for for Bernard Foley, I was like, bye bye, this game's over. Sorry, Mac Mason, you're not a terrible player, but Bernard Foley's better than you. And the only way Waratahs had a shot is if he was playing.
Pretty much.
So,
and even then, I don't think so because everybody else just shit the bed completely.
Yeah, really.
I mean, the first try is the Taz number 7 is fielding a kick.
Was it Wells? I think that was back there.
It was Will Miller.
Miller, okay.
And
bobbled it, and then Mackay said thanks.
Yeah, but it's like I don't have a problem with Miller there because bobbling it because it's like he sprinted for like 50 meters just to get to the ball first.
Yeah.
Because where the fuck was his?
Where was the cover? Yeah, where was the cover there?
Any of the back 3. Like I understand if you get 1 out of position. I kind of understand if you get 2 out of position. All 3 of the Taz back 3 were out of position.
Yeah, it didn't react to.
And the 7 gets to it. Okay, the 7 got to it first. Okay, he fucked up. But
yeah.
he did something you could never expect him to do or really ask him to do.
Right.
And so he did it, and then he couldn't finish it. But okay,
they had
being there was more than enough.
And it came from an aimless kick from the top, and they had aimless kicks all night that just didn't seem like they were going. They weren't good decisions, or they didn't seem like they were accurate. I was like, yeah, what are you doing? Keep the ball in hand. You guys need to score points, you dopes.
Right.
So what are you doing?
And then pretty much right after that, Phipps just decides to not play the ball, or he like kind of put his hand, I don't know if didn't really look like he was digging for it. He looked like he was kind of just waiting. And then all of a sudden they blow the ruck over him and steal the ball and boom, try.
Let's go.
To beat elite. Like,
yeah.
There was just no urgency or aggression from the Waratahs right from the start.
No.
And I think I turned it off before halftime because I was like,
well, the second half was a little lackluster. Taz didn't quite have the same bite, but they didn't need it.
Right.
Nahalo obviously looked good in his final game in New Zealand. Well, maybe not in New Zealand. Actually, no, not in New Zealand because of what happened. But point being, he looked good for his final game. And down in his region, Liam Squire.
Yeah,
he's the All Black number 6 now. I think.
Yes.
I think he is.
Got to be.
Looked really good, and he looks like he's been playing all year. So good on him for getting himself back into form. Really piss poor showing for the Waratahs for a team that needed to show some real bite to even have a prayer at getting into the playoff. And don't tell me they didn't want to get in the playoff. Of course you did.
Of course they did. But they just shit the bed early and then
and they just took the foot off the gas.
Continued to shit it.
Absolutely.
Like they woke up having realized they've shit the bed and continued shitting the bed.
Yep. Thompson got a nice try, kind of drunken run, as it were, coming from the sideline, coming back into the middle, found a gap, and took off down the middle. I think that actually ended the game. But yeah, so the Highlanders take care of business, 49-12. Certainly put pressure on the teams that were above them and that were below, and jumped a few teams on top of that. So good on them. I was glad to see that. I thought they deserved, especially for agreeing to call off that match with the Crusaders when that terrible incident occurred.
Right.
I think that's a little bit of karma that they did themselves in. So there we go. They're in. Other team that's in. Hey, welcome to the playoff, big guy.
No longer a mush. People, you were calling me a mush out there. You can suck it. That was just me.
Yeah, it's mostly you, but
I can suck it.
Different story. Again, the story was a little bit of aimless kicks from the Rebels. Quade Cooper's
started it off.
He had two in the first 20 minutes that turned into tries. So no bueno.
I took a note. I don't know what time in the match it was, but it was like Quade Cooper's doing very good things on offense and defense. He had a great loop run, and then he had a really fantastic tackle on Wainui on the touchline. So I no sooner I was writing that note, I was completing that note.
15 minutes in or so.
When Cooper hits that kick.
The one that went right to, who was it, Stevenson?
Debrezeni.
Oh, was it just
no?
Whatever it was,
whoever it hit.
One of the two.
Debrezeni started it.
I think it was Debrezeni.
With possession, and then just through the hands and pop into Kane, and there's your try.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, find Brad Weber, and you're gonna score a try because he is quick. That little bugger is fast, and he seems to know how to distribute when he's not going to score the try. So I like it. Yeah. What was this? Oh, the second. You know what? Stevenson had the second one. It bounced off of him.
Yeah.
or whatever, and he scooped it up and scored, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
You know what it was? It was It wasn't Cooper's kick. It was Reese Hodges' pass that Stevenson scooped up. Maybe
no,
both.
It was a Cooper kick. It was Cooper kick that was charged down.
Maybe it was both.
And Stevenson picks it.
I think he did both. Although Stevenson didn't score the try off the Hodge pick.
Right.
Boshier scored it, I think. So yeah, Nankiville left this game early, which was initially was a oh no for the Chiefs, but Manu came in and performed very well. I know I think he's listed as a wing, but man, that boy could play just as well as center. So good on him. Is Debrezeni the answer the Chiefs have been looking for all year since Damian Mack went down?
We'll find out. I mean, he's certainly putting his hand up as it.
Last two games, he's looked amazing.
He has. It's just because he finished. Does he finish? And
yeah.
then when he gets to, I mean, one of them was against the Crusaders, so it's hard to say what happens when he faces the best because he's faced the best.
He's faced the best
very,
and
very good.
Pantsed them at that.
Yeah.
So I am optimistic for the Chiefs' sake because it looks like they've at least found a guy that can get them back to being competitive on offense.
He's certainly, it's hard to say that he's what they want because they want Mac.
Well, different story for a different day.
Right. But for what they need for the playoffs, things are looking positive.
Yeah. Well, this will be fun. This will be fun now. This will definitely be fun now. I'm glad they got in because I think they're definitely one of the more entertaining teams to say the least.
That's really. That's why ultimately I'm happy with the two squeakers in down there.
Yeah,
with the Highlanders and the Chiefs because no matter what they're going to put up a fight.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially, are you going to count out the Highlanders this coming weekend?
No. So here's the thing. I was thinking. I was like, the Crusaders are watching this and going, God damn it! These are the two teams I didn't want to play. They are happy with playing with the Rebels. They would have been happy playing the Stormers, or the Sharks, or the Lions.
Yeah.
They would have been happy playing any of those teams. They did not want one of the teams in their country to be the ones that they had to play off the bye.
That changes the game.
Yes, big time. And because apart from the Blues, all these teams can beat them.
Right.
All those teams can beat them. So they were like, oh Fucking no, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
So Chiefs take care of business big time, 59-8. Rebels are left wondering what could have been. Bad.
That was not a good way to finish.
Really, I mean, apart from the one outlier, Australia didn't look good at all. Not at all. Reds didn't look very good. We'll get to them in a second. Waratahs has obviously put up a stinker. Rebels put up a stinker. So there's something going on in Australia that something needs to be gotten to the bottom of. Big time. Buenos Aires and the unfortunate Sunwolves playing a red-hot Jaguars team. Jeez. And this wasn't even full noise Jaguars either. They had a couple guys sitting. Obviously, Creevy didn't play.
Yeah.
Just Kubeli, I think he came off the bench. It just, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, they made it interesting in the first half. I'll give them that. It was actually 14-10 until Massaweber made his freaking dopey move, knocking the ball down and scoring the penalty try.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that it was interesting up until then. Gerhard van der Heever had a very nice individual effort. Chip Chase picked it up, put it down. So I mean, there's talent here in this Sunwolves team. I think that's a well-known thing. It's just a matter of finding ways to use it and finding ways to take advantage of it, and also being really their problem is defense.
Yeah,
they got to be able to put guys on the ground, and they just don't have they don't have the organization on defense to do it right now.
And hopefully they can work on that in the offseason heading into the next Super Rugby.
Oh, they got one more.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They got one more. They got one more. They got one more. Their ultimate season, and maybe they can give a big middle finger to the rest of the league and
nice shitburger for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, as Lou Brown might say. So yeah, Jaguars take care of business very easily, 52-10 in the end. They look like they're a team that I don't want to play right now. That's for sure. But there's some teams that can. There's some teams that can't. I don't have 100%. If I were to be my team, the Hurricanes, walking into Buenos Aires right now, I wouldn't be confident with it.
No, you can't be confident really at all heading down there because they're a solid team. Certainly one of the best in the competition.
They have a lot, and
they're number 2 for a reason.
Yeah.
In this, and it's not just because they're in a. It's not because the division that they're in. It's not they're number 2 because they're not in the New Zealand division.
Oh, they were.
It's.
They were definitely like they had a struggle to start, but man, they caught fire.
Right.
And they were tough to beat. They beat the Hurricanes in Wellington. They were beating some teams that I was like, ooh, hello.
Right.
Where did that come from?
They're good rugby squad.
Yep.
So they've certainly earned it. So you can't take them lightly at all.
Good on them, for sure. Sebastian Consigliere, he needs to be wearing a white and sky blue striped shirt come Japan.
I would assume he would be.
He is looking amazing. So hopefully he gets picked because I think it's Ledesma that's coaching him now. I would. He's been on fire. Every time he touches the ball, I think he's going to do something fun. So I hope they pick him. He's looking really good. I know he's not that old. I think he's fairly young. But, man, the future looks good for them. That's for sure. Good on him. Yeah, 52-10 Jaguars over the Sunwolves. Whew. Hurricanes made it interesting. This was 24-5 at halftime. Oops. About that.
So speaking of the one time when the team could just pack it in.
Yeah.
And they decide, we'll give them a match.
Yeah, seems like the Blues they came out. Sonny Bill looked actually pretty good. Has to be said. So if he wants an All Black shirt, he might still be up for it.
He might.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Of course, he's also easily the most rested on the
by far.
person on the field.
By far. Yeah, he hasn't played for a while. But they, I mean, if you don't want to give the ball to Sonny Bill, best to use him as a decoy at the very least.
Yes.
And they did it quite well. Running a nice switch inside line. Everybody on the Hurricanes in a yellow shirt bit, and Caleb Clark had all the room he wanted to scoot under the post. I was like, oops.
Well, it's one of those, like, you see it happen, and you're like, well, they beat us. Like, it's not as though you can really blame your team. And
no,
like,
I was just
they
like,
were stupid. Nope.
I would have done that.
Yeah.
Sonny Bill's about to get the ball. I'm going to smash him.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he didn't get the ball.
Shit. So very, very, very good set piece off them. I think they had another one. Sonny Bell didn't score off of it, but I think it was Tilia. But Blues did have some good-looking tries to start this game. Nanai got one on his way out the door. I think he got named as Blues Player of the Season, actually.
Oh, all right.
Players Player of the Season, I think. So good on him. On his way out the door as it is.
Yes.
Heading to Worcester Warriors, I believe.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so that's very, very good showing to end it for him. But the Canes substitutes and a couple of the salty veterans stepped up big time. Dane Cole started the match. Artie Savea and TJ Paranar came in shortly after halftime.
Okay.
And they made a huge difference.
Of course.
Fletcher Smith, spark plug, big time. Got him going with a try assist, and then chased down a chip kick to put the Hurricanes really get the engine going. And he's like, "Hey coach, can I play next week too?" That's basically what I thought of when he's playing that. Who did he give his offload to? Oh, the big lock, Wakalere. Yeah, I was like, "Go big fella, go!" I love seeing a number 5 run down the field.
That is a lot of fun.
He lit the thing on fire. TJ and Artie were obviously big into it. Mm-hmm. Peter Umaga Jensen, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
He and Tuala hook up for their first try in the first half. He gets another one after I think it was a Fido offload, big proper, and gets one onto the post. He needs a little bit of polishing, but the freaking kid's good.
Yeah, I mean you'd expect with a name like that.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, he is related to who you think he is.
Yeah.
Not a bad gene pool to pull from. And Garden Bishop actually looked pretty good in Bowden Barrett's stead. So good on these guys for stepping up. That and to show that okay, if you lose any of these guys, we're here. Mm-hmm. We're ready to play. I enjoyed seeing the younger side of the Hurricanes with a smattering of the veterans play, and I think they did themselves very good by rocking up and showing some cojones and coming back from down 24-5.
That's especially when it's not really doesn't matter.
Nope, and it didn't, but it did to them. So that was the important thing for them.
That's big, yeah.
Rayasi looked really good as well. He's another bolter for the future. Look out.
That's what they need, another
back.
finisher. Yeah.
So Hurricanes win 29-24, and they are going to be welcoming. I know who they're welcoming. They'll be welcoming an opponent to town for their quarterfinal next weekend.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. Did you watch the Brumbies Reds at all?
No.
Yeah, God.
I refuse to watch the Reds.
Might have been worth it. Might have been the right decision, I should say.
I get so frustrated watching the Reds because it's one of those teams that they have some decent talent, but they just don't put it together, and they just look like they don't see each other between Saturday and Saturday.
Right, and there was so funny you say that. There were a lot of errors that the Brumbies capitalized on from the Reds. So there you go.
Wow, I didn't even have to watch it. I can tell you what happened. Because it's the fucking Reds.
Exactly. This was kind of the kicker. Scott Higginbotham comes on. I think it was, I don't remember who. He came on for somebody for an HIA. Maul. It was a Maul. This couldn't have been 2 minutes into his freaking stepping on the field. Takes out the Maul from the side, penalty try, gets put in the bin. I was like, that's a good start to your appearance off the bench. Good job. And that was like I said, it was an early one because it was an HIA.
Yeah.
Oops, daisy. So he was, that was not a good start, and that kind of just summed it up right there. Mm-hmm. Lealiafano actually brought his kicking boots. He might want to remember where he put these boots because he's going to need them next week because that's not his forte.
Right.
He doesn't, when he kicks for goal, it's not his. He's not that well known. He's decent, but he's not. That's just not his thing. One question I have that I keep pondering as we heard it the other week. Samu Karevi, he's only 24, 25, and he's leaving Australia. Is that a red flag? It's got to be some sort of red flag.
Look, it's a red flag. It's not.
He's not even going to Europe. He's going to Japan.
Yeah, but that's big too because he's
right.
He's basically stepping down in
right.
play. It's it not on its own is it a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's symptomatic of a larger red flag.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a guy like Will Skelton, who should be, by all rights, he should be enthusiastically heading back to Australia right now to lead the fucking Wallabies because right now
They're scrum for sure.
right, and in the fucking loose.
Yeah, he'll
Right?
definitely lead them in the loose as far as
Like
imagine he and like Hooper
right.
in the loose.
Yes,
That'd be fun.
yes.
That'd be fun.
That would be extremely fun. And yet he's like, no, I'm going to stay with Saracens. Like, not even he could say he doesn't have to say anything right now.
No.
He could have just said nothing, and instead he says, no, I'm staying with Saracens.
Yep.
And you know,
And Czech is refusing to bend that rule too. So
right at some point you got to realize that what the fuck is going on in Australia rugby?
Yeah,
and
something's up.
And you know, and it's just funny because it's kind of clicking now that I'm paying more attention to player movements and things like that. When I met Michael Checa, when he spoke at the U.S.
right,
Leadership
that's right. Yeah,
Development.
you told me you met him.
Yeah, fantastic guy, and
No doubt.
had a lot of interesting things to say. And part of it was he's like, that he's fighting a culture battle, and
Clearly,
it's not something that he can do all on his own. And he's like, he had no illusions about the fact that it was going to be there long after he was done coaching there. He's like, my job is to try to make it better as much as I can while I'm here, and
leave it in a better place.
right.
Yep.
And try to work it towards where it needs to be because there's too many people fighting against it. And yeah,
It's unfortunate.
fucking people, right?
Yeah.
And he really didn't get into any specifics about it, just to say that but he was trying to relate it to because it was a coaching development summit for USA Rugby.
Right.
So he was trying to put it in terms the Americans could understand about what's really important and how the values you have as a rugby club are important. But part of it is you got to retain talent. You got to want people to want to be a part of your organization.
Absolutely.
And if you're losing certain players here, you're losing certain players there, and you're just completely ignoring, say, the Pacific Islands. He's like, why are you cutting yourself off? You're saying, that we're only about the people who are already here or the people who want to be here. That means that if you're not 100% invested, you're almost you're getting pushed out the door.
Okay.
If you're not 110% in,
Fair
you're
enough.
not seen as committed. And it's like, you got to give and take. Like, these are human beings.
No, yeah, I agree. And, speaking...
It's the same thing as what France is doing. Like, don't be fucking... There's no need.
Yeah.
There's no need to be stupid. Just do what's right by people, and they'll do what's right by you.
Right. Speaking a little candidly, like my own kids that I've been coaching, I've been trying to establish, like, I want kids to be here, but at the same time, if there's a certain type of person that's not going to fit our personality and our team chemistry, I'm not going to say no, but at the same time, I have no problem with them walking away.
Right.
So it's that mesh. Keep the mesh there. Don't have it be a solid door. Make it a mesh. If they want to come through the mesh, great. If they don't, then fine. But as they come through that mesh, they got to understand what they're getting into. But at the same time, don't make it a door where, like, all right, we got all the people in the room we want, done.
Right.
Because that's just dumb. That's just really dumb. That I definitely don't agree with.
There have been, I've been a part of lots of teams, but specifically rugby teams have been a part of more than I can count on one hand. Almost two hands. I've been in and out of some other clubs too.
Right.
Tangentially, but it's very rare that I've been with us, specific players and been like, you know what? I don't really care if they come back. Like, we're struggling for numbers, but that guy, we don't need that guy. You don't see that too often.
But the guys that
but you always remember those guys.
Like,
and it's like, they can go. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And then there's guys who are like, I'll trip over my mother to keep you around.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you make us better than we are. Yeah. So
they make the team better and they make the team culture good.
So why would you intentionally force people out, even if they're just because.
Yeah, you don't want to force people out. That's the thing. That's definitely something you don't want. You want to give them the opportunity to be a part of the culture. There's no reason to shut people out. All right, back to the rugby. So the final two matches of the weekend had a lot riding on them. One was interesting but kind of boring, and one was, well, entertaining, but oops, not that interesting.
Yeah.
The order that we were talking about. So as I said, kind of a snooze job up until the last 10 minutes with a few bits of entertainment here and there. Rhino Smith's shin kick, whatever, intercept that for the ball that was along the ground and able to run it home was, provided a little bit of entertainment. I'll say that. Stormers had a good habit of building phases, but the bad habit they had was they would find a way to fuck it up. So that wasn't good.
You gotta finish, people.
Yeah. A couple of injury notes: Kotsia and Mac Mapimpi and Weiss for the Stormers, both teams, massively affected by injury early on in the game. So that was no good. Kotsia he tried to soldier on and and he got hurt again. I was like, oh, you're done. You're so done.
Yeah.
So here's what it came down to. The Stormers hit a big penalty to make it a try game. Hey, it sounds familiar, right? Yeah. To make it a try game. And Sharks kick off, Stormers kick off, and God, I think it was the Lock Vincale, whoever it was, some bonehead on the Stormers hit. I think it was Schroeder or the backup halfback late. While they're like the Sharks are on their 5, maybe they're 10 meters out.
Right.
They have to clear their lines, or at least they're going to have to go the distance. Instead, this bonehead gives them an easy out. They end up going up by the 50, if not beyond it. Oh. And then, yes, they work their way down there. Lucanio gets the ball on the wing after I don't know how many freaking phases and how much time of possession. Gets the ball on the wing. He's got a guy outside of him. He says, "Nope, I see exactly where I'm going." Cuts inside. Try time with red clock. Game over. Sharks win the game. And it's funny. I looked at some of the match reviews. I'm like, there's no mention of this hammerhead penalty whatsoever. Like, did you guys watch the same game I did?
Right.
Because I'd be freaking shooting his ass out.
Right. Because there's nothing worse than that last minute, like
boneheaded play.
But when you're on offense, it's like, to me, that's like the thrill of it, where your tails are up when that happens. That's it. Let's go.
Big time.
Let's go wide. Let's do everything we need to do to get the ball to space. There's no reason to play slow. No. There's no reason to play timid. It's just make the defense, throw everything you got at the defense.
We got to score, so let's go.
And that usually works out. Honestly, that usually works out better than most other offensive attacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's just like, let's go, let's attack, and not worry about, we're not setting anything up. We're just attacking. And that's hard for a defense to hold out for too long, unless the offense does something stupid, the attack does something stupid, or makes a mistake.
Just a mistake,
right?
I mean, it's at that point.
And either
shortly after that kick went into touch from the Sharks off the penalty, that was the end. That was red clock.
Right.
So I was like, how stupid do you feel right now? Like, this guy needs to just be like, I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm sure he feels bad. I'm sure he realizes I fucked that thing up pretty fucking good.
Right. Was it worth it to hit somebody?
Right.
Did you need to hit somebody?
It was pretty obviously late, too. I was like, you dope. What is wrong with you? Hammerhead. So, yeah. Sharks down the Stormers last minute, 12-9. Earned themselves. This was a win and in, as we talked about last week. Sharks win their way into the quarterfinal, and they are continuing on. Stormers go home. Give the Stormers a little bit of credit. They were missing some pieces big time. They had no Etzebeth. They had no Khaleesi. There was a lot that they could have had out there, and they didn't. So I'll give them that. But at the same time, that was a hammerhead penalty that cost them in the end.
Right.
And the final one of the weekend, and there were a lot of new Bulls fans that were made on Friday, because the Highlanders and the Chiefs were both new.
Right.
If the Lions didn't get any points whatsoever, they were both in. And they were sitting there hoping and praying, especially the Highlanders, because I think they would have been the one that fall off the bottom if the Lions got anything. And they were just like, yes. So they were definitely Bulls fans. And, well,
They right
Dreams
off the bat,
do come true.
Right off the bat, though, they were pooping themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Damani,
Bulls just fell off.
13 seconds in.
Bulls fell off like 3 tackles. I was like, "What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You guys here to play or what?"
And then then they did.
They responded
Right
quickly. They
Pretty
did
quick.
respond pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Liebenberg ends up getting over after a Van Zale quick tap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actually looking at, like, when Van Zale was named the starter. I was like, "Oh no, that's not something I was into." Or was it Van Zale that started?
Hold on.
Double check that.
I hadn't
for
gotten
me.
to the match center. Where the hell is it? There it is.
Double check that one for me.
Checking.
So am I talking out my bum or
Who am I
what?
looking at?
Bulls, Van Zale, they're 9. Or who, was it Warner?
It was Warner.
Oh, okay, good. I like him. Like, I think he's their answer there. I really do.
I thought he played fine.
Yeah, I think he's their answer there. So, digress on my previous comment. Anyway, they did respond quickly. Did you see the set piece?
Yes, I was
from Van Staden. I was like, wow, that's okay. That worked. Wow,
the midfield maul off the line out.
that was interesting.
That was
Apparently that was Dwayne Vermeulen's brainchild.
Fucking lovely.
I was like, oh, hello, that worked.
It's a great idea. And it's something you certainly don't see that every day with the
Right, and the second that somebody from the Lions engaged that thing,
They
it
were
was
all
done.
in. Yeah.
It was done. I was like, oh, you guys are screwed. You guys shouldn't have engaged that thing, you idiots.
you done fucked up. And if you're gonna, because it's like, look, if you're gonna engage that, go low and take the because they're not. It's not a maul until there's contact. And so take
tackle
dive
the guy
at the ankle.
Tackle the guy.
Right. Just tackle him.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you go up high, now it's a maul.
Now it's a maul. Now you're
the
screwed.
ball's released. That was
Hammerhead.
But I mean, shit, you're making that decision.
It's a split
that
second
quick.
decision.
Yeah.
True.
And you see that many people come in because what you're doing is you're sacrificing your body because you're getting trampled.
Yeah, that's also true.
when you do that.
That's also true.
So it's a little bit of a, I'll give you the try rather than have
so
a five
beautiful
step
set
all
piece
over me.
design by the Bulls for sure.
Yeah.
Van Staden ends up getting over. The Lions drop goals. Why the fuck were you doing that? Oh my god!
I didn't.
I mean, the Kutsia one, the first one, I understood. Advantage, whatever,
Right.
have a pop.
Right.
The other two, one was from God knows where, like out in the friggin' atmosphere somewhere.
Yeah.
And the other one was just for shits and giggles. I was like,
Right.
what the hell are you guys
It was just
doing?
an open play. Like, I'll just do this.
I was like, no, you just gave away possession, you hammerheads.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this? You morons.
Yeah. I think
Do
that
you
was
want
about
the ball?
I think the second one was about the time I stopped watching because I'm like, it was 28-13 and it wasn't that long into the match.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know exactly where this is going. So, like, I've seen
this movie before.
I've seen this movie before this weekend. I don't remember paying to watch the same thing again. I wanted to watch a different movie this time, so I'm gonna go watch something else now.
Yeah. I mean, so once the Bulls took over, they took over. Odendahl got over, nice bit of work. He moved the ball wide, was there for the offload from Speckman and scored it himself, which was very, 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 very good.
That prop try.
Take notes at
I'm
home.
not gonna even try to pronounce the name, but the prop try.
Ibaka, yeah. Well, they have two very good props between him and Nyakanya. Very good props for the Bulls. Anyway, he looked good. Pollard looked like he is every bit the Springbok starting 10 that he should be. So hopefully, Rassi Erasmus is taking notes and paying attention. He needs to be your 10. If you want to win the World Cup, he needs to be your 10. End of story. Colonel Hendricks turned a couple of defenders inside out, upside down, put it over the line, and that put them out of the reach of a bonus point for the Lions for good. Pollard and Liebach both piled on some tries afterwards, so
But
good on them.
So I didn't see it. I saw I saw the first Gentry's penalty kick.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this, and he was kicking penalties 30, 37, and 44 minutes into the match. Yeah. They'd already let up 4 tries against them.
Right.
And you're still kicking penalty kicks.
That's the captain. I mean, it's the brain trust. Let's put it that way, because it's between the captain and him.
Right. But
so the captain eventually has to override him and say, "Fuck you, we're going for the line."
Yeah, and say, "Look, this is for the playoffs. This isn't just a regular match. This is, and this is why certain teams are will threaten to win championships, and while the Lions have made a couple finals, they've been finals participants.
Indianapolis
shit
Colts.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you need to be able to turn it and say, you know what? I know. Look, Chanchies, I know you like kicking for points,
but ain't happening today.
Yeah, today. Why don't you hang them up? And we're gonna just we're ready to kick conversions because that's what we need.
Put the T away.
Yeah.
Hide the T. Done. Yeah. So Bulls pull it off, 48-27, and everybody down down at Otago is jumping up and down. Speaking of Otago, I actually had something that I wanted to sidetrack. So one of our boys from the Free Jacks has apparently signed a contract with a team that's going to play in the Mitre 10 Cup.
Oh.
Or at least he's training with their squad.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, though. If they think that he's going to make the Mitre 10 Cup squad and get looks in New Zealand,
yeah,
he ain't coming back.
Is this a friend of ours?
No,
Okay.
No. Just somebody I saw on their page. I was like, I can promise you, if he gets a shot at the Mitre 10 team, he's probably not coming back.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I mean, but that's why we do it. That's why this league exists.
Right.
So, good on him. Anywho, digress. So, we'll go over the quarterfinals in a little bit. About our top pods of the year in terms of downloads, and obviously we talked about which ones were our favorites. So we'll put that out there on the Twitterverse this week as we go into Pick'em and the quarterfinals. And I don't think any of them are bad. I don't know about you.
No, these will all be
time.
excellent matches to watch.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that we're going to see what
66
I saw
to
last.
nothing.
I don't expect that. I think each one of these, they're almost flip a coin matches down the line.
Just about.
I mean, there's some of them you'd put a weight in one side of the coin, but it's still you could still see it happening the other way.
Yep. All right, so Crusaders and Highlanders. This is kind of the match we were waiting for because we didn't get a second one of these during the year. So Crusaders and Highlanders. Wow. I mean, the kind of karma how this came around anyway. But I'm glad we got it. And I can't pick against the defending champs. So I'm going to go with the Crusaders. I love the Highlanders. I love everything they've done. I love Josh Ioane and how he's responded to taking that 10 shirt, and he's made it his. It's his to lose from now on. I think he's put his hand up for an all black shirt on top of that. So I love the kid. Aaron Smith's obviously a very good scrum half. They have a nice pack. I mean, when you have Sharon Frizzell on the fucking bench and he's been in good form, yeah, you have a pretty good pack. So I like it. But yeah, I gotta pick the Crusaders. I think this will be close. I think Alpha Bi teams tend to struggle. So I think this is going to be very close, but I think this is the Crusaders match, and they're going to be hosting a semifinal.
And I am gonna pick the Highlanders.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for the Crusaders got their butts kicked by the Chiefs, and then responded against the Rebels,
who were floundering clearly.
Yeah. And it's one of these you're never as good as you look, you're never as bad as you look situations there. But I think that there's also something to be said for having to fight your way through the end of the season. And the Highlanders were playing playoff matches already.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
So
sure.
They already have that fight or flight gear going on. They already have it's do or die, all the cliches.
All that.
Additional playoff match cliche.
Yep.
I trust that momentum and that energy more than I trust a team that's kind of been flat.
Apart from the
whooping they put on, but that was also you have to take into account the opponent, and it's not like the Crusaders were doing anything terribly special. They beat him with crossfield kicks. They beat him with shit that like a good team won't let you beat them with.
Yeah.
So
agreed. And the Highlanders have two very quality wings between the Hollow, Tavita Lee. Josh Mackay's come into his own as a fullback.
Yeah.
So good on him. Ben Smith is back. by the way.
Yes.
He's back.
Well, see, this is going to be a fun match.
So this will be a fun match.
So I'm going with the Highlanders.
There you go. Don't blame you.
Because it's not like the Highlanders haven't won recently, as we were just talking about.
It's
not,
these
aren't
new things
slouches.
for them.
This isn't.
I mean, Major hasn't won it for a while. Hasn't won a title since he was a player.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been hanging out in England for a little while too.
Yeah.
So that's not his fault. All right. Let's see. We got Jaguars and Chiefs. So the last time this was played, the Chiefs won it at the death, or nearly at the death.
Right.
By the way, Ben Smith is starting.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's a big one. The last time these two played, Chiefs won it nearly at the death, if not at the death, with something on the outside. I think Tarangi ended up getting over the line. That was not the best Jaguars team that we've seen this year, though, either. Mm-hmm. That in terms of their form and their play. So, we shall see.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs lineup has been published as well.
Oh.
Metallic is in.
Nice.
I have to say, I'm liking,
there.
We talked about him in fantasy and how it was a detriment to you, but I'm liking Ardron as a second row, even though he's a very handy Lucy. No Nankivell. He's out.
Yeah.
Which we kind of knew was probably going to happen. Manu is in.
Okay.
And the back three stays the same with Wainui, Alamalo, and Stevenson. So I mean, Rebels are going to see Sean Stevenson in their sleep.
Yes, they will. And with any luck, the Jaguars will as well.
Oh, wait. Nankivell's on the bench.
Okay.
I wonder if that's a cautious thing, though. Maybe they'll pull him at last minute. So there's a potential for him to be dropped. Let's put it that way.
Right, because that was unfortunate last week.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that the Chiefs can win this, so I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, go with your boys.
Same thing, momentum. They've really been coming on strong the last couple of weeks.
Agreed.
They've been having to compete, fight for their lives, and really they've. It's one thing when a team ends the season on a high note, but the Chiefs have actually been has been building to this. Like this is very much. It was. I mean. Some asshole was talking all shit about them at the beginning of the season. I don't know who that was. But when you flip a switch mid-season and start coming on strong to end the year, that's very different from cruising to win a division.
Felt like the Jaguars were kind of doing that for a little while.
The Jaguars are in the same boat that the Crusaders are, but I don't think the Jaguars are nearly as good.
Yeah, Diaz Bonilla is starting at 10 for them, which to me, I like Miotti a little bit better. So that's just me. He is on the bench, so if they felt like they need it, so you go on Chiefs. Oh man, wow, this is interesting. I want to see a semifinal in Buenos Aires, so I am going to pick the Jaguars, and it's not against the Chiefs. I think that's good for rugby. I think a semifinal for Super Rugby in Buenos Aires is a good thing for rugby. I'm not saying it's going to be a walk away by any means. It's going to be a nail biter all the way down to the end, I think. But I think that's something that'd be great for rugby to see Buenos Aires host a semifinal for Super Rugby. Okay, to the Saturday games. My boys against the Bulls. Man, I am terrified of what the Bulls just did to the Lions. And Dwayne Vermeulen's back. I was like, oh no, it's not what I wanted. Come on. The worst thing would be what would happen would be if Lou Diaga decides to freaking roll out of his injury and be healthy. I'd be like, oh shit.
Right.
That's the end. I'm done. I quit. So yeah.
Good season, boys.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like this is just not adding up to us. I will pick my boys. I will back them. They're at home. Bulls have to get on the plane and come over to New Zealand. That is a thing. It's not as big of a thing as it used to be, but still a thing though. So I am going to back them, and I will back all the changes that are about to be made by Plumtree for this one after sitting a lot of guys last week.
I'm also going to go with the Canes.
Yeah.
Unlike you, I'm going to back my friend's team.
Get over it.
But I think that they're, the Bulls. I feel like it was that match last week was more the first team to quit than anything else. But
I quit match.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the Lions kind of did a little bit early.
Yeah.
with stupidity. So I could see. I think they're going to give him a good game.
Yep.
I just don't think there's any team from South Africa, not the South Africa division, but actually from South Africa that's really. I don't see them hanging with
the Kiwis.
With the Kiwis this year. Any of those teams.
Okay.
Aside from the Blues.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then last one, which again won't disappoint.
Well, this is
Sharks and Brumbies.
I think this won't disappoint in that it will be a very close match.
It's going to be competitive, but I think it might the quality might drop just a touch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. This is going to be the step down match. So I'm going to go with the home team only because someone's got to win it. Someone's got to be fodder.
Bad news is
right. Sorry, Sharks.
Yeah. So you're going to go with the Brumbies. I actually am inclined to go with the Sharks because I think Kerwin Bosch will be back. I hope he's back. For their sake, I hope he's back.
Right.
I think Kerwin Bosch will be back, and that team is a much better team run when Kerwin Bosch is at the helm as opposed to Robert Dupria. Sorry, Robert Dupria, you ain't good for him, bud. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, I could just see this being another I Quit match, though.
Maybe.
I could see that happening.
Maybe.
And I don't think that'll be a blowout. I think it'll just be a team that just they don't keep up. It won't be an I quit at 20 minutes. It'll be an I quit at like 60 minutes.
Yeah,
I think I expect this to be a close game at halftime, and whoever controls the next 20 minutes will win. And I'm going to trust the home team when it comes to that.
Yep, that is a good possibility. Okay, damn. All right, so we're winding down here. We got what? 3 of these guys left.
Yeah.
Do a semifinal preview show and a final preview show, and then a final review, and adios.
Yeah.
That'll be it. And then we're actually taking off for a week after that, I think.
Nice.
Going to Canada. Yeah. So we're winding down the season here at TFRY. I'm definitely working on some things behind the scenes. Ben and I will talk about a few things to work on things and improve things and make things so that more people like what we talk about, or at least like the content of what we're talking about.
We can't do anything about our voices, so
yeah,
I'm sorry,
dude. Sorry, man.
Or our personalities.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a weird fish. I can't do anything about it, dude. Shit, I just borrowed that from freaking Pod. I feel stupid. Oh well.
Don't admit to it.
It's worse.
They stole it from you.
So yeah, we will be back for our semifinal review or preview that one. Quarterfinal review. No fantasy. We're stuck just talking about rugby stuff.
Rugby.
Oh well,
kind of like we did this week for the most part.
That's all right. So we'll be back next week. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll look forward to hearing what you guys have to say later on. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers.
Later.